डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन युनिव्हर्सिटी.
Hello friends, Namaskar. Welcome to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University's video lecture series. We are dealing with BA in English program and we are preparing a new syllabus, indigenous syllabus rooted in Indian English literature and British literature as well as American literature. And we are recording video lectures for the same, which you can avail, which you can watch on our YouTube channel as well as on the official website of the university. Hello and Namaskar. This is Dr. Jainee Shah, Assistant Professor of English, School of Humanities and Social Sciences. And today I am going to deal with an essay which is entitled Gifts. A very normal word, gifts, but the author of prime importance, who is considered the father of American literature, he has written an entire essay on the thought and he has taken a philosophical view of the word gifts. So we are going to deal with this is a part of paper number 8, which is a study of form of essays, and particularly unit number 6, which deals with an essay entitled Gifts, which is written by Ralph Waldo Emerson. So in this unit, in this session, we are going to deal with essay form, the author, the essayist Ralph Waldo Emerson, his works, style of writing, and then various categories into which this essay is divided. For the sections, the main sections are initiation, universal gifts, caution, human nature and philosophy. As I said, he takes a philosophical view on the idea of gifts, and then we are going to conclude with some exercises and further suggested reading. Moving further, an essay is generally, in general sense, it is written in prose. It is a piece of writing that consists of the author's argument. Now, essays have been largely categorized into two categories, such as formal and informal. Formal essays are defined as the category of formal essays includes essays which are serious in subject matter, serious in purpose, have certain dignity to it, have logical organization, as well as they are of a certain length and language. Whereas informal essays can be characterized as essays which have subjective element meaning to say personal feelings, emotions which author has described in his essay. The essay may be dealing with some kind of self-revelation, individual tastes and experiences in confidential manner. They may be humorous, they may be graceful in style, they do not follow a logical structure, they have unconventionality in their nature and novelty of theme also. For example, this essay we can consider a mix of formal and informal because the subject matter, that is per se the theme of the essay, is gifts, which is not very formal or logical or involving reasoning to say that it involves the kind of subjects that involves in formal structure, formal essays. But the philosophical take which author takes with gifts, that puts it into a serious matter also. So we can put it in formal and informal category at the same time. The another example is there is an essay called Confessions of an Opium Eater, right? So that essay we have to put it into informal category because it talks about the experiences the author has felt, he has experienced while the experience of opium eating. So that essay has to be in the informal category because it talks about personal experiences of the author. Essays are commonly used as literary criticism. They are political manifestos as well. They are learned arguments as well as observations of daily life, recollections, and reflections of the author. So, depending on the nature, the subject matter, and the concept of the essay, it can be put into formal or informal, and the role that it has to play, whether it is literary, philosophical, political, or cultural. Now, there are different types of essays: cause and effect, the relationship between the subject and the object, classification and division, compare and contrast. Maybe the author has compared or he has drawn similarities and differences between the two subjects. Exposition, narrative. The essays are sometimes argumentative, they are debatable, they debate in the essay, debative in nature. Economic, they are reflective, and other logical structures. This particular essay can be considered under reflective category, reflective type of an essay, because it makes the reader think. Some thinking process has to take place when you read the essay or when you understand the essay called Gifts. Moving ahead, on the right side of the screen you can see here Ralph Waldo Emerson. He was regarded as father of American literature. Born in the year 1803, he passed away in 1882. A very prominent figure in the 19th century American literature. He was an essayist, lecturer, philosopher, and a poet, as well as an editor. He used to edit his own works, which is a rare quality, to be a writer as well as to be an editor at the same time, and that too of your own works, right? So he did that. He was the pioneer. He led the transcendentalist movement of the mid 19th century, and he was seen as a champion of individualism. These are different theories, different philosophical concepts which emerged in literature during 19th century, early 19th century. He disseminated his thoughts through dozens of published essays and more than 1,500 public lectures that he delivered across the United States. And to his credit, he has the collection of essays and letters. Now, as I said, he led the transcendentalist movement. So what do we mean by the word transcendent? Transcendent means something which goes beyond, something which is larger than the normal physical human experience, something which goes beyond or above the range of normal or physical human experience. So you can relate this to a certain kind of spirituality, the experience of divine, that state of mind which takes you, which makes you experience something which is beyond normal. Now, transcendentalism as a philosophical movement, it developed in the late 1820s and 1830s in the eastern US, and the core belief is that inherent goodness of people and nature, outer agencies have corrupted the purity of the individual. So outer agencies may be the laws of the society, the laws of the culture, the rituals, certain rigid customs, maybe we can say that. So this philosophy believes that a core belief is in the inherent goodness of people and nature, and outer agencies have corrupted the purity of the individual, and people are at their best when they are truly independent and they are self-reliant. not depending on physical, societal, cultural restrictions and structures, but depending more on or inclining more towards divinity and spirituality, something which makes you experience beyond the normal physical environment. So people are at their best when truly they become self-reliant and independent. Here are some of Emerson's works. Emerson wrote most of his important essays and lectures first and then revised, self-edited them for print. Collections of essays were entitled Essays First Series, published in 1841, and Essays Second Series, published in 1844. And some of his well-known essays are entitled as Self-Reliance, The Oversoul, Circles, The Poet, Experience, Nature. Now if you can have a look, and another a poem that he wrote was entitled as Brahma, a poem published in 1856. The Hindu god of creation, Brahma, the soul's immortality. Now if you have a look at the titles that of the works that Emerson has written, we can clearly see that he was his thinking was more in terms of Indian philosophy, Indian culture, Indian religion and Indian concept of spirituality, considering Brahma as the god of creation, nature as the force of creation, and self-reliance, nature, experience. So he believed, and all of these terms lead us to the transcendentalist theory in literature. So these are Emerson's works and his style of writing. He believed that the self is an autonomous spirit which acts according to universal moral laws, and all things are connected to God, and therefore all things are divine. So this was his belief, which was reflected in most of his works. Transcendentalism, abolitionism, that is self is untrapped, right? The natural world, spiritualism, individualism, self-reliance, integrity, optimism and equality. These are the themes which are prevalent in his works, and these kind of writings, this kind of writing is considered as Emersonian writing. So if any work is based on the major themes such as transcendentalism, natural world, spiritualism, individualism, you can consider it that it is an Emersonian writing, because Emerson wrote with this particular subject matters. Moving further, coming to the unit for this particular lecture, for the present lecture, Gifts was published in 1844 in the collection entitled Essays Second Series. The essay Gifts dwells upon the virtues of selfless giving. Gifts is a very simple word. Gift, to give someone on certain occasion, or giving of gift is a very noble initiative. I would say that you feel happy for someone, or there is some special occasion, or you want someone to feel special, you gift them different articles, or depending upon your relationship with the receiver, you give them gifts. Based on the occasion, you give them gifts. So he includes all of that what is ideal for gifting, what are the precautions that must be observed while gifting, and then ultimately he takes us to the philosophical view of gifting, and how gift giving and gift receiving should be perceived, and how it should be understood by human beings. So the essay begins with this verse. It says, "Gifts of one who loved me, it was high time they came. Gifts of one who loved me, it was high time they came. When he ceased to love me, time they stopped for shame." So it's a very simple verse which means that if you love someone, you must occasionally gift them, because gifting, the act of gifting, shows that you are concerned for the person, you care for the person, or you love the person. And when he ceased to love me, when the person ceases, when the person stops to love you, that is the time that the gifts stop coming, because the very act of gifting is based on the foundation of love, and when you stop loving someone, you no more give them gifts. So that is what it means in a general sense. So love, if you love someone, you give gifts. When love stops, when love disappears, when love vanishes, gifts also stop, and it is a shame on gift giver as well as on gift receiver. So here he stresses on the significance, on the importance of love, that whenever you gift, it has to be from your genuine, out of your genuine care and concern, and not just for the sake of giving. And he begins with initiation. Emerson very wisely puts it that there is a perennial shortage. Perennial is continuous. There is a consistent shortage of gifts and gift givers in this world. By this he means that judicious gift giving, a considerate gifters or considerate gift giving is under continuous shortage. Why? We will come to know. The need of such noble traits is very acute. That is, gift giving is a noble characteristic which should be encouraged more, and people should practice it more. During Christmas and New Year, we experience a heightened desire to give gifts, because that is the general norm. It is a ritual, it is a tradition of giving gifts. But do you genuinely feel that you want to gift someone, and you want to gift it in such a way that the person is happy, and person is happy to receive the gift, and the gift is of certain use to the receiver? So judicious selection of the gift item evokes the intended reaction of the gift getter. So judicious in the sense some thought has to have taken place. Without thinking, the gifter should not gift without thinking, right? This is what he means in initiation. Now he comes to universal gifts. He points out certain items which are considered as universal in gifting. For example, flowers are the most charming offerings of nature. A blossom brings with it its genteel, fresh, and bewitching face. They are messengers of love and sublime creativity. So what does flower symbolize? Flower symbolizes all these things, and it is a charming offering of nature. Flowers make us feel good, wanted, and important. And of course, we have a range of varieties based on the occasion. We have varieties of flowers to gift based on the occasion. Another example he gives that fruits are also adorable items to be given away as gift, because a feel good feeling is attached with fruits. But he again stresses that, just buying flowers and gifting them away, just buying fruits and gifting them away does not make sense. But the value of gift, the value of flower and fruit increases when, if a fruit grower walks a long distance carrying the basket on his back and presents it to his friend. Labor of love generates self-worth in gift getter. So when you part something of your own self while gifting, when your personal touch is involved in gifting, for example, you buy flowers from a shop and you gift it. On the other hand, you walk a long distance carrying the basket of the fruits or the flowers, and or for example, you have there is a kitchen garden, there is a backyard in your house, and you have grown a certain flower, you have grown a certain fruit, you have taken care of the plants, and when it is ripe, you take it, you carry it a long distance, and then you gift it to a friend. Of course, the labor of love is involved. You have toiled, you have worked hard, you were yourself was involved in the entire procedure, and when such a gift is given, it increases the self-worth of the receiver as well as of the giver, the gift giver and the gift receiver. So this is what Emerson says. Further in the essay, he has categorized gifts such as gifts as per need, gifts as per desire, gift that touches the heart, and gifts for atonement. Now we'll take the first one first, gift as per need, such as that a person is in need of a good pair of shoes. You have come to know this piece of information, and when the occasion arises, you gift him a new pair of shoes. That is considered a gift as per need. So of course some value is attached to it, and it is going to be of certain value, certain use to the receiver. So thereby ordinary day-to-day items should not be dismissed of being unworthy to be called as a gift. So it is not necessary that expensive items or luxurious items only can be gifted. A simple day-to-day routine item can also be gifted if it is of certain value to the receiver. Gift as per desire. For example, presenting a guitar to a music student or giving a dictionary to a language learner, right? This is of certainly high value compared to giving rings or jewelry as gifts. These are expensive, these are high value items, but they have no personal interest. They have no personal sentiment. So the giver expects the receiver to love it for its monetary worth. So you expect that the receiver of the gift should be happy because you have spent so much money on buying these ornaments. But it is not so, because the receiver would be more happy if you have given something which is of value and which is of use to the receiver. Another is gift that touches the heart. When a poet brings his poem, right? A farmer brings a portion of his harvest. Or when a person writes the biography of another person, the giver in these exercises, in writing a poem, in bringing the harvest, or in writing for some other person, in all these events, the giver parts with a portion of his own self, and this generates an emotional bond between the giver and the receiver. So monetarily it may be insignificant, but otherwise emotionally it is of more importance. And the final category is gifts for atonement. Atonement is some kind of compensation, right, for enhancing one's own standing, or as atonement sums for sins. Costly items bought from shops can be choices, common practice among the elite and the royalty. Such gifts are cold, detached and impersonal in nature. To enhance your own standing or to say intimidate some other person, you buy something very costly, very expensive. So the gesture sometimes signifies that you want to indebt that person, you want to intimidate that person. So these kind of gifts, they are cold, detached and impersonal in nature and must be avoided. Moving further, cautions while gifting. Gift giving and gift receiving is a delicate job. Not only giving but receiving is also a delicate job, because your reaction to the gift is going to impact the gift giver as well. A self-respecting man doesn't receive gift except those coming to express genuine, unselfish love. So small gestures of care and concern can make a huge difference. When one gives gifts in a condescending attitude, with maleficent purpose, the person receiving the gift feels hurt and humiliated. Golden principle is that if someone gives you a gift, you should make it a point not to take anything else from him. Here he means to say that when the relationship between the giver and the receiver is on the same level, that is, there is no major financial difference, no major age difference, they are friends, or they bond emotionally, or they are related to each other, they are familiar to each other. In such cases, we expect all our needs to be given to us as gifts. Such greed and laziness are degrading and need to be avoided. So gifting is a pure, genuine gesture. It should not be mollified with, giving expensive things as gifts which intimidates the receiver. When this may take place when there is a huge financial difference between the two persons. So all this come under caution area of gifting, which should be taken care of. Then he comments on the human nature. He says that receive gifts with dignity and grace. It is a virtue, it is a quality that is looked after. Restrain our feelings when receiving gifts. That is, don't show overt joy or overt disappointment. It may happen that sometimes you don't like the gift, but it is not necessary that you express your disappointment there and there, because it hurts the giver. Giver and taker, if they are of equal means, right? A modest gift may be misjudged as a slight. The beneficiary might feel annoyed for having been given such a small gift and might desire to be given a large chunk of the giver's assets. So this happens when there is financial void between the two. They don't match. So sometimes the receiver may expect expensive gift and you are with your limited means. You cannot gift any expensive things. So this might bring a void in the relationship. So gifts, as they have to be taken as gifts, right? And they must be received in that spirit which the giver is giving. He might even feel angry at the giver. Keep away from such greedy, ungrateful and mean people. One can even remain detached and unaffected on receiving the gift. Now here a spiritual, a religious view has come in. He says that the Buddhists behave with rare equanimities, whether they are being flattered or they are being honored with gifts, or they are gifted with something which they don't like. They treat all these people with equal respect and modesty. So this must be developed in everyday gift giving and receiving. He continues saying that the problem arises when the gift fails to communicate with both the giver and the taker. This should not happen. When we do a job for a magnanimous person, the latter rewards you so profusely that you instantly become indebted to him. these altruistic people are very kind and generous people. They stand in readiness to do all they can do for a person, and they do not take any minor service to them. They will not seek anything in return, but they might do a lot to serve you. In our daily life, we keep interacting with our friends, society, and at times we do them good, at other times our deeds harm them, and all of these goes unrewarded. Even if we are unable to render a service to someone directly, we can do collective good by sticking to our moral and honest behavior. So this he has related the importance of being earnest, the importance of being moral in your behavior at each point of time in your life. It is of more significance than any other materialistic pursuit. The philosophical take is this, that love is all encompassing and universally sought. The motive, the gesture of gifting is based on the foundation of love. In whatever manner gifts shrouded with love comes, we must accept it joyfully. We must accept the gift in the spirit that it is given. If it is given with love, we must accept with equal love. One should not attempt to qualify such show of love. Gifts are unsolicited. They come on their own and they can't be asked for. You cannot ask someone that please gift me this. Gifts come unsolicited, that is, they are not asked for, they come on their own. When the giver is willing to give you, he might gift you. When the charm of love is missing, no amount of gift, either in quantity or in quality, should be accepted by us. So a gift, if it is given with any malicious intent, it should not be accepted. Emerson ends the essay that through his well-meaning advice, he received some intellectual satisfaction. Those who benefit from his sermons, from his lectures, but fail to thank him, he is morally bound to love them too. So he ends his essay with this line. And in conclusion, two major points emerge, that Emerson has defined the gift as a portion of thyself. If someone asks that what is the idea of Emerson behind gifting, so for him gift is something which is a portion of one's self rather than something that could be purchased. The essay dwells upon the virtues of selfless giving. In this essay, Emerson encourages the reader to do some high thinking about the nature of both gift giving and gift receiving. So merely going to a shop and buying something and gifting it is of no value unless and until something of your own, some portion of your own being is involved in the process of gifting. How to involve your own self? Here he explains us, the only gift is a portion of thyself, that is, thou must bleed for me. I'm quoting him. The only gift is a portion of thyself, thou must bleed for me. Therefore the poet brings his poem, the shepherd his lamb, the farmer corn, the miner a gem, the sailor coral and shells, the painter his picture, the girl a handkerchief of her own sewing. So these kinds of gifts are considered worthy here because in this process a portion of yourself is included. For example, if there is a poet and he is going to gift you, what better gift would be than the poet himself writing a poem for you and gifting it to you, right? Nothing more valuable than that. Similarly, there is a shepherd. For him, his sheep, goat and lamb are of much higher value than anything else. So what would be a better gift than a lamb itself. Similarly, the farmer, when he toils hard, when he works hard round the year and grows the ripe yellow sweet corn, and then he gifts that to you, nothing could be of more value than that corn. Similarly, a miner, when he works in the mines and happens to have a gem as his salary, as his reward, and then he gifts that to you, definitely a high value, enhanced value it is attached to that gift. Similarly, the sailor, he is going on a sea expedition and he finds some rare corals and shells, and he brings them to you, he gives that to you, that is of more value. Similarly, there is a painter and he paints something especially for you to gift you, it is of much higher value than the painter himself going to a shop and buying some ready-made painting and giving it to you, right? A girl, what she can gift, if she is into craft art, sewing, embroidery, what better gift than a handkerchief of her own sewing, of her own embroidery. So when you, with your entire being, some portion of your part, some portion of you is included in gifting, that would be the ideal gift as per Emerson's thoughts, right? So I hope that you have understood now, you have a better idea of what the essay is all about. I would like you to take a small check your progress exercise. Here are some questions which will be able to answer looking into the session. What gifts does Emerson suggest as ideal for gifting? You have to put the examples of, you may add your own examples as well. Second question is, what are the rules of gift according to Emerson? What are the cautions that you need to keep in mind? What is a meaningful gift according to Emerson? You can include the categories of gifting. And the final question is, critically evaluate the essay entitled Gifts. So these are the 4 questions, and here are web resources, links to further reading. First link will take you to the primary source. I would suggest that you read the primary source, the essay Gifts by Ralph Waldo Emerson. The second is the summary of the summary and critical evaluation of the essay, and the third one is a video lecture that might help you and may give you newer perspectives of the essay. So I conclude the session over here. I hope you have a better understanding of what the essay is all about and what Ralph Waldo Emerson says about gifts, the gesture of gift giving and receiving. And I hope that when you gift someone next time, you will keep all these things that Emerson has taught us in mind, so that the value of gifting is enhanced and the receiver is also happy with your gift, as well as you are happy by gifting that gift to someone special. Okay friends, see you around next time. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye. Thank you.